Hi everybody, Blugoblin here. Thank you for joining me for this very late comic book review in which we're going to adjust ourselves in our chairs and talk about the comic books that started the month of May 2017. And, oh god, go to the gym, lift. Oh, look at all that big old stack of books. Boom. Oh damn, that was a hard thud. That's a lot of books. Look at that shit. Look at that. Look at that. And got a lot of indie shit to talk about. Really got a lot of indie shit. But it's good. And then, of course, the big two. We're going to start with Dynamite. And it's a good old wink and a nod to Atari. We're going to start with Swordquest, issue 0. Going back to the times where it only cost 25 cents to play. A lot of us kids of the 80s, children of the 80s, when we wanted to play a video game, all we need is a quarter. So that was it. I know Dynamite was running a promotion for a lot of their 0 issues being 25 cents. But this had a particularly special feeling to it, it being just 25 cents to play. It's not actually about the game. It's more or less about a guy who once played the game when he was a kid, and he is, sick, and he's actually dying. He has been given months to live, and he went back to his mother, and he found all of his Atari and Swordquest. He was a big player of Swordquest when he was a kid, and he found all of his old Atari stuff from when he was a kid, and he just reminisces about it. This was a pretty fun issue. Very depressing, but still fun to read. I did enjoy it. I thought it was good. Am I going to get on board with the series? I highly doubt it, though. I really highly doubt it. Because while this was good, I don't feel like it was quite good enough to get me interested in collecting the series ongoing. But as it is, I really can't complain because it was so damn cheap. I did enjoy it, though. I give it a 3 or a 3.5.
Invisible drink delivery.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. Love me some pink lemonade. Alright, now on to what I think a lot of people are wanting me to talk about, since I went on about it on my Twitter page, and after I talked about it, my Twitter just blew up. I mean, just all kinds of likes and retweets and quotes and stuff like that, and replies. It's just, as soon as I talked about these books, I mean, my Twitter page just blew up with likes and loves and hearts and replies and shit. We're going to talk about Alterna Comics. Going back to the days of yesterday. Bringing back newsprint. We're going to start with Adam Wreck #1. On a strange world, danger lurks. This was awesome. This was very fun. Michael S. Bracco, I hope I didn't butcher your name, sir, but this was great. This was very fun. This was like an outer space adventure where a young boy with, yes, that is his name, Adam Wreck, that is his name. He gets separated from his parents on this strange alien world and stuff like that. This was just fun. So much fun. Really loved it. I don't really want to give hardly anything else away with any of these Alterna comics. All I got to say about this was good. I loved it. I didn't get all the Alterna comics that came out. I mainly got the 3 I was interested in the most, and this was one of them. Very, very well done. Definitely has a Lost in Space feel to it. It's very, very well executed. Well written. The artwork, it does feel like classic, Sunday Funny style comics and everything. It's just the interior artwork looks really gritty and kind of dull and everything, but in a good way. And yeah, it's done on traditional newsprint paper like comic books used to be done back in the old days.
Now point out what's in the back of it.
I'm fixing to get to that, but first I gotta say, when I got these, yes, I used to smell comics when I was a kid. But one thing that I really appreciated, right here in the back, in all these issues of Alterna Comics, they got this little section where he says support your local comic shop. And I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up, but if I go right about here and bring it right up here, well, yeah, the camera's not going to pick it up very well, but right here it says in Arkansas, it gives a shout out to our store, Arkham Comics.
The only store in Arkansas.
It's according to this, it's the only comic book store in Arkansas, which that's not really true, but for Arkham Comics, my comic book shop,
My teeny little comic book shop.
our comic book shop, Arkham Comics, gets a shout out at the back of these books. That was easily one of my favorite parts. This was good. This gets a 4. Alright, let's keep in with Alterna. We're going to Amazing Age #1. Man, this was good. First of all, love that cover. Nice little wink and a nod to giant size XMen. But this was also really good. 3 former friends who drew their own comics when they were kids, and as they grew older they grew apart, but towards the end of the issue one of the main characters gets literally brought into the world he created. Man, that's awesome. When you were a kid, anybody who was a kid and you didn't really collect too much comics, instead you chose to draw your own comics, write your own comics and everything, what kid that did that didn't fantasize about being brought into that world and interacting with the characters that they themselves created? That is just astounding. That's just so fucking awesome. And this is no exception. Really, really well done. The character names are a little, well, not bad. It's just, these character names sound like character names that kids thought of. But, you know, that's another thing that adds charm to the storytelling. It's done very well. This was, quite frankly, amazing. It gets a 4 out of 5. But probably my favorite book from the Alterna Comics that I got. And this was actually close to being Pick of the Week worthy. Lilith Dark, #1. Oh, man. I'm so glad I ordered this book. This was just beautiful. Very, very good. It's the fantastic first issue, and I just adored it. Charles Dowd, thank you. Thank you for this. This was good. I love the main character of Lilith. I love this character. The way she talks in here, it reminds me of Rugrats, when all the children characters kept constantly mispronouncing words, but at the same time, you knew what they were saying. It's just, there's a line in here, I'll give you an example. There's a line in this book where she's like, let's just skip the apple sizer and get right to the main course. And it's just, stuff like that, it's charming. It's not exactly original, but it's charming, and I loved it. It was great. And, you know, it's another one of those things where it's a kid imagining a world she wants to be in as opposed to the real world, you know, fantasy and escapism and everything, done very well. And towards the end of the issue, that's exactly what happens to her, and I'm really anxious to see where they go from here. Really, really well done. It gets another 4. Thank you, Alterna Comics, for Lilith Dark. Alright, we're keeping with the indies. We're going to IDW. We're going to Ghostbusters 101, #2. Yeah. This is more or less, you know, www. Okay. But Jennifer's watching some silly Minecraft streams over there. So if you hear any weird noises over from this direction, it's more or less her videos that she's watching. But this here is still getting the introductory sense here, and what I mean by that is that all the characters that are involved in this storyline, they still have yet to actually team up and come across each other. They still have yet to actually meet each other. I like the fact that it's implied here that the current Ghostbusters, the all-female team that just had that movie last year, it's actually Ghostbusters from an alternate timeline, an alternate reality, alternate dimension, whatever you want to call it. That actually makes much more sense than having a new team of Ghostbusters being passed down by the original four. That makes more sense rather than just rebooting the franchise. I actually like that, and we're getting glimpses of their universes coming connected to each other, especially towards the end of the book. I still think this series has potential to be something really, really good. And I know this is probably just another attempt to get the all-female team some popularity, because there are still some Ghostbusters fans that just refuse to accept the all-female team of this new Ghostbusters team just solely because it's not the original four. Get the fuck over it. I liked the last new Ghostbusters. I'm a child of the 80s. Yes, the new Ghostbusters still did not touch the original. It's not meant to do that. It's not meant to be better. It wasn't meant to try and surpass it. It was just trying to cash in and gain some more popularity on the franchise of Ghostbusters itself. It's not meant to replace anything or tarnish anything. It was just meant to be a fun flick. That's why I liked it. That's how I looked at it. If you look at it that way, maybe then you could pull your heads out of your asses and just learn to accept that it is an average, fun film. And the fact that they're bringing in those Ghostbusters to actually interact with the original ones, it's coming. We know it's coming, and I'm looking forward to it. Very, very well done. Not the best stuff in the world with the Ghostbusters comics, but it is well done. I'm still enjoying it. I'm ready to see them interact. Let's get to it. It gets a 3.5. Let's keep on going with My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, number 53. This was kind of your stock, stereotypical My Little Pony finish to a series. Teaching, appreciate your history and friendship and blah, blah, blah. It did kind of have that stereotypical finish to any, My Little Pony story, but it was still done pretty well. The ponies that got separated from Twilight have to basically figure out how to get out of their little dilemmas on their own without Twilight's help and everything, because let's face it, there are plenty of times where the other ponies in the main six, sometimes they just turn to Twilight and say, hey, get us out of this jam, yeah. But I thought it was done okay. This character who's been erasing history and everything, I'm not really digging this character. He's not going to touch characters like Discord or anything like that. That goes without saying. But I thought this was alright. I'll give it a 3 to a 3.5 at the very best. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 69. Love that Kevin Eastman cover. Man, this was good. This was really good. Agent Bishop's war against mutant kind and everything is raging on. Hob actually comes in contact with the Turtles, tells them of a plan. It's like, hey, we may not like each other, but we have a common enemy. It's your whole the enemy of my enemy is my friend shtick done again, but it's something about this time is just really captivating, and I really like it. But man, what Hobb does at the end of the issue, I'm like, it's truly fitting to the character, but at the same time, it's kind of making Bishop's view a little bit justified. I'm just saying, I give it a 4. Let's move on to DC. The DC Comics with Aquaman number 22. This is the conclusion to the Deadwater 2.0 or H2.0 storyline, or whatever the hell this is called. I'm not going to say too much about this issue. What I will say is it's a minor spoiler. Arthur finds a way to deal with the new Deadwater. He finds a way to deal with it. Now, how he does it, I'm not going to give that away. But what I will say is, I'm sure a lot of people are talking about this, many diehard Aquaman fans who got on board with the character after Jeff Johns had the title for a while. But there's something in here that happens after Arthur deals with the problem. Him and Mara have a conversation, and Mara basically just denounces what he did. Basically, talks down to him and just is so disappointed in him. And let me just say this. Mara in this issue is 100% right. Yeah, I'm siding with Mara on this argument. What she said to Arthur, I believed her. I agreed with her. What he did was hypocritical to his character development. It really was. So anybody who read this thinking that Mara was in the wrong, I'm sorry, I gotta disagree with you. Mara was right in this issue. She was right. But still very well done. Give it a 3.5. Let's move on to what very well could be my pick of the week. Oh boy. Batman, number 22. Woo, 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 woo. Reverse bat, reverse bat, reverse bat. But yeah, this might as well be my pick of the week for this week of comics. This is the next part of the Button storyline. Oh my god. Off the cliffhanger of the last part, which I believe was in The Flash, where we see Flash and Bruce. We see Barry and Bruce come face to face with Flashpoint Batman, Bruce's father, Thomas Wayne. And to see Bruce finally get to have a man-to-man chat with his old man. Oh my god. I really, honestly felt Bruce's pain, because we all knew, reading this, that this little visit to see his dad was not going to be a long visit. This was going to be a very short visit, because of all the stuff that's going on around them. But to actually see Bruce and Thomas talking to each other, revealing things. Bruce tells his father, "You're a grandfather. I have a son." And to see Bruce's pain as he's screaming at his father when Flash is trying to... Because while they're in this Flashpoint dimension, the actual universe itself is starting to collapse around itself, and it's disintegrating and everything. And to see Bruce's pain as he is screaming for his father to come with them. But Thomas is like, I can't. He said, and he gives Bruce one final piece of advice that we know Bruce probably ain't going to follow through with, but this was just on a sentimental value. on just pure drama and pure tension towards, the character interactions, this was amazing. I really loved this. Now, whether y'all loved it or whether y'all hated it, that's your choice. If you hated this book, that's fine. Everybody has different opinions on different titles, and in my opinion, this was good. Is it the best Batman stuff ever written? Fuck no. But for what this was, I really appreciated it. I really enjoyed it. In fact, after I read this book and read the rest of this I came back and read this book again. Read this book twice in reading all of these books. And both times it hit me with an impact of pure... It felt very melodramatic, but I felt like the melodrama was justified. Very, very well executed. Good job. It gets close to a 4.5. Bombshells. Number 26. The motherland is calling for their Supergirl. Whereas the rest of the characters in here, like Harley, Ivy, Raven, Satana, and everything like that, it's time for them to start moving forward after their last ordeal with Joker's daughter and everything. It was cute. It was cute. The beginning of the book was like told in a song-style dialogue. I thought that was cute. The rest of the stuff was just fun. This was one of those cute, fun issues. Especially there was a little bit of a spotlight on Raven, but the main focus was on Supergirl. Ooh boy. Good stuff. Very entertaining. I give it a 3.5. Let's keep on rolling. Cyborg, number 12. Yeah, Cyborg's boom tube. Cyborg's boob. Cyborg's boom tube. It's like messed up, and he finds a way to get back in Detroit, but once he gets back out, he learns that 6 months have gone by. Now, there's where I have a little bit of a nitpick. He's been gone for 6 months. Why the fuck is the imposter Silas Young... Silas Young, I'm thinking of fucking wrestling. I am so sorry. Why is Victor's... Stone! His last name is Stone, goddammit! Why is he still keeping the real Mr. Stone hostage? 6 months have gone by without a single peep from Cyborg. You would think he would go, fuck it, I'll just go ahead and kill you. Chalk! And then that'd be it. What a fucking twist that would have been. But no, 6 months of remaining in hostage, still tied up like this. By the time Cyborg does eventually rescue his father, I'm willing to bet the nerves in his arms are going to be fucking dead. But it's like, all nitpicking aside, it still had an entertaining charm to it. It's like a 6 month jump, though, is just really stretching it. It's just, I felt like at this point there's really no need to keep Mr. Stone hostage anymore. It's like, Jesus Christ, that just really felt odd to me. I'll give it a 3 or maybe a 3.5 at the very best. Maybe. Definitely gets at least a 3. Green Lanterns, number 22. It's basically Simon and Jessica, being taken to, Mogo, the headquarters of the Green Lantern Corps. And unfortunately for Jessica, she's getting a demotion. She meets Kilowog, and Kilowog goes, boop, and her lantern symbol goes away, and she is now a white circle. She has been demoted to Private Rookie. It's like, hey, you want that lantern symbol? You want that badge, you're going to have to earn it. And of course, she's pissed off, saying, hey, this ring chose me, I should wear the symbol. You know, and everybody's trying to tell her, you really never had any formal training with this ring, which they're right, she hasn't. So, honestly, I think Kilowog did the right thing. If she wants to better herself as a Green Lantern, who better to train her than veteran Lanterns? But then there's the stuff with the Guardians, which I won't give away anything there, because, woohoo, that alone could lead somewhere. But by the end of the issue, Simon and Jessica both learn who their new trainers slash mentors, if you want to give them that title, their new trainers are going to be. And I think Simon will be okay, but Jessica, oh boy. Definitely gets a 3.5, close to a 4. Really good book. Let's move on to Harley Quinn, number 19. Another 2-story split. First story written with Connor and Palmiotti, and then the second story written by Mr. Paul Dini. This wraps up the whole cannibalistic storyline that Harley has been going through here. I think it wrapped everything up pretty well. Harley, I love it when they tell stories involving Harley on the streets. It's where she's at her best. And to see her constantly holding her own when she is literally outnumbered is just awesome. And yet still retaining her wit, her charm, and everything that makes her character the way it is. Very, very well executed. And the second story with Paul Dini taking place in the animated series universe, that stuff was also very fun. That stuff was also very charming. Very, very good. Love it. This is just really, really good stuff. I'll give you a little bitty peek. Little bitty peek. You know, it's like going back to the yesterdays of the animated series and everything with Joker and Harley. Both stories very well entertaining, very well good, very well done. This was a good book. I'd give it a 4. Move on to Nightwing number 20. I'm actually glad this storyline is over with. Dr. Simon Hurd, or whatever the fuck his name is, I could care less about this character. This is one of the least interesting villains that I've seen in a long time. I didn't care for him in the Court of Owls storyline, and I sure as fuck don't care about him now. Using nightmares and delusions and stuff like that against Nightwing while he's just kneeling there drooling and everything. That's just fucking weird. And the whole excuse, the whole fucking explanation of why Damian survived the knife stabbing and everything, give me a fucking break. Really? That's your fucking explanation why he survived a fucking knife in the gut? Get the fuck out of here with that ridiculous bullshit. I mastered the art of shifting my internal organs, so I was able to dodge the knife even though he got fucking poked with it. What the fuck ever. That was just ludicrous. Fucking ludicrous. It's like when you're kids and you're playing outside with sticks and stuff like that, and you start LARPing, you know, live action role playing shit. It's when you start doing that, and you're having a pretend sword fight with a couple of sticks. It's like, oh wait, yo, no, you can't hurt me because I just put up a force field. Yeah, you just put up a force field. Okay, well, I'm casting a spell to break your force field. It's kind of felt like that. It's like, oh, I just stabbed you in the gut. Well, I can shift my organs to where you can stab me, but I won't die. That's what I say to that. This issue and this conclusion just kind of fell a little flat for me. I give it a 2.5 at the best. Let's end the DC pile with Superman number 22. Tomasi and Doug Mankey. This was good stuff. This mainly focused on Lois. And it's like everybody in town, well, here, let me find it here. She's trying to figure out what's happened, why Clark and John have disappeared and everything. It's like, meanwhile, it seems that everybody in town's gone loco to the point where they're literally jumping through the floor to get up to the next stage, get up to the next floor of the house and everything. And that's where Lois is coming in. We learn that she has backup for when Clark's not able to come save her and everything. Okay, I think this is this particular issue. I wouldn't say it's a must-have, but I'd say if you love the character of Lois Lane and you love seeing her when she's not the stereotypical damsel in distress, when she's able to hold her own without Superman's protection, then I'd definitely say this is worth your time to give it a good read. This was really pretty good. I wouldn't say it was really great, but it was pretty good, and I did enjoy it for what it was. I'll give it a 3.5. Alright, let's go on to the Marvel stuff with Champions number 8. This issue is pretty much a story about how to properly trademark your shit. And, you know, the Champions themselves have found themselves to be publicly hated, socially unaccepted, because their trademark name and everything is being licensed to stuff that is making them unbelievably unpopular. But then Nova does something. Nova does something to clear everything up, and what he did, I thought was just fucking amazing. Loved it. Mark Waid knows his shit with this stuff. I mean, this was a good issue. I give it a 4. All right, let's keep on going. Jean Grey, number 1. Normally, when storytellers hotshot plot points, normally I would scoff at it, but this time, I gotta be honest. I fucking love what they did in here. They didn't beat around the bush. They didn't pussyfoot around. They went straight to the elephant in the room. The goddamn Phoenix Force. You really honestly can't talk about the character of Jean Grey, whether she's young or whether she's old, alive or dead. You really honestly can't talk about this character without bringing up the Phoenix Force. It's like trying to talk about Wolverine without talking about his goddamn claws. Yeah, it's just part of who she is. It's just part of what makes her character be what it is. And the writing here was solid. The artwork in here was really good. To see Jean, young teenage Jean, she's taking on the fucking wrecking crew, for God's sakes. And, you know, basically we get like an abridged version. At the beginning of the book we get an abridged, you know, look back at her life, her death, her rebirth, and all that stuff. You know, but she's taking on the wrecking crew in here, and she's actually holding her own, but yet at the same time trying to balance civilian safety in the middle of the fight. She's not really that great at it, but it's just really well executed, very well written. I really dug this. This was really good. I'd give it a 4. Let's move on to Jessica Jones, number 8. This was also really good. This was really good. Question. What do you do when you go to your bathroom and you see Maria Hill bleeding out all over your toilet? I really want to know. What would you do if you went to the bathroom and you saw Maria Hill with a knife wound bleeding all over your toilet? Come back to me and tell me what you'd do. But Jessica's going to go ahead and hear her out while she's thinking that I'm not going to believe a damn thing you say, you fucking bitch. Which she would be 127% justified saying that to Maria Hill. Oh, calling her a fucking bitch too, because she is. But yeah, good stuff in here. But by the end of the issue, Jessica is in deep, deep shit. Good issue. I love reading this stuff. Bendis really knows how to write this. Awesome job. I give it a 3.5 to between a 3.5 and a 4, around that area. Okay. Take a drink. Secret Empire #1. This issue, after reading the Zero issue, this one was kind of weird. This, in here, it kind of looks like Cap and Hydra pretty much almost already taken over the country. You know, you see a bunch of kids, they're getting ready for school, they're getting ready to go to class, one kid's running late, you know, and stuff like that. And class is about to start, and the teacher's like, you know what to do, and they all go, "Hail Hydra!" And I'm like, whoa! Okay. And we see one dude in here do something incredibly fucking gross. But there's one thing that happens in here that really hit me right in the heart. In a bad way. I'm not going to ruin who it is, and I'm not going to ruin how it happens, but there is a casualty in this issue. Now, while I will admit I will not reveal who it is, who it was that got it, that hurt. That one hurt. It's one of those characters where you don't really want to see anything bad happen to them. Oh, trust me, if it was Carol Danvers, I'd go ahead and fucking spoil it. But it's not her. This character has a lot of, is kind of synonymous with Cap in a way. So to see them go down, that was painful to look at. Not as impactful as the Zero issue was, but a fine official start to the storyline. I thought it was still well executed, despite how much of a weird shift some of the storyline is going in. But still very well done for what it was. I'll give it a 4. Spider-Gwen 19. I mean, oh my god. Matt Murdock in here is really pushing everybody's buttons, including mine. I mean, Murdock, he's no Daredevil, but man, he is a dick in this series. My god. Of all the people to be the kingpin of crime, it had to be him. Isn't that fucking ironic? Intentionally? Excuse me. But the stuff that he's also showing he's got a little bit of patience, because the stuff that he's going through in here, I'm sure he probably would have snapped and just said fucking kill everybody. You know, it is what it is. But Gwen is literally been given a life-altering decision to make. And it involves, how do I put this? It involves putting on something. Something that us readers, we know where this could go. We know where this might end up. But all in all, don't trust Murder Doc. The proposition that he gives Gwen, it's going to come back and bite her in the ass. Good issue. It gets a 3.5. Let's move on to Spider-Man number 16. Still dealing with some of the fallout between Miles and his mother. You know, his mom basically telling him that she still loves him. She always will. But now that she knows who he is, she just can't be around him. You know, not hardly any mention at all about what's going on between his mother and his father and everything. But there's also some really telling stuff in here as to, you know, Miles is dealing with a lot of stress, and oh my God, what a way to let some of that stress out. But then he realizes what he did, and he's like, oh shit. And then, of course, let me find it, and let me talk about it. Black Cat. Why? Why, Marvel? Why are you making Black Cat his new antagonist? Why? She should have beef with Peter. She shouldn't be having beef with Miles. Miles had nothing to do with what happened between her and Octavius. Which is what basically flipped her fucking lid. Making Black Cat a villain again, I think to this day, I still stand by my opinion that it's the wrong fucking move to make. Because it's such a step backward in terms of character development. Just saying. But still a fine issue for what it was, but it wasn't anything to just go running up and down the streets going, man, this was fucking good. Nothing happens in here that makes you feel that way. But for what it was fun. I'd give it a 3.5 at the best. Whoa. Spider-Man 2099, number 23. Okay, so Miguel has time jumped to the pinpointed moment where everything leads to a completely colossally fucked up and foobarred 2099. And lo and behold, big shock, who's the guy that is going to be directly responsible for this happening? None other than Tyler Stone. I know, right? But there's a lot of stuff that happens in here that I can't give away and everything. But man, this was good. This was really good. Loved it. Peter David, God, he still knows how to keep that story gripping. Fantastic. Not the greatest stuff in the world, but still fucking enjoyed it. I give it a 4. And we're ending this with X-Men Gold number 3. Don't mess with the X-Men. I really dig that cover with Kitty coming out of the wall doing that. I gotta say though, Kitty Pryde is making a damn good leader. She's actually doing very well. She's keeping it real with me. Unfortunately, as well written as this story is, I gotta find a little bit of a nitpick. There's a difference between being bold and looking fucking dumb. And I gotta admit, the ending of the issue where Kitty finds out who's really behind this new brotherhood of evil mutants, they truly find out who's the mastermind behind it. And when they go confront this character and they go confront this person, Kitty and them, they do something bold. It's a bold statement against this antagonist, but at the same time, they're leaving themselves up for more social attacking. It's like, okay, we get the point that you're making a statement not to mess with the X-Men. Great, but at the same time, you're kind of socially damning yourselves, which, you know, it's one thing to stand up to, stand up to somebody who's antagonizing you, who's bullying you, stuff like that, or who's trying to wipe out your species and everything. It's one thing to stand up for yourself, but the eyes of the media always paint different pictures, and while they make a bold move, I'm worried that it's eventually going to bite them back in the ass. Still, with that, I really wouldn't call it a nitpick. It's just a plot point that's easy to point out. But still, a very, very well done issue. I really loved it. Thought it was great. I give it a 4. Well, that's all I got for this review, everybody. I want to thank y'all for watching, and I apologize for being so late all the time. It's just with my job and all the stuff. It gets really, really tough to find some free time to do this, but I've been on YouTube for damn near 10 years now, and this is something I love to do, and I don't want to get out of it. Monetized partner or not. This was a simple hobby. Now I'm a partner getting monetized for this, but I ain't making shit. Pure and simple. I'm lucky if I've made $1 by now. But I don't care. I decided to go the monetized route to see if I can, expand my horizons and get more viewers, and meet other comic book nerds and stuff like that. Pure and simple. I'm not in this for the money. The money doesn't hurt. The money wouldn't hurt, but that's not why I do this. I review comic books on YouTube. I shoot my mouth off on YouTube when it comes to comic books, pro wrestling, or just anything I want to talk about, just because I want to. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget the shout-outs in the description below. Hail Hydra, and I'll see y'all later. Take care.